They say it takes a village to raise a child, but what happens when the village loses its strongest pillar? Behind so many of the struggles in black communities is a silent crisis, one we're not talking about enough, the absence of black fathers. But why is this happening? Who benefits from it? And most importantly, how do we fix it? Today, we're breaking down the truth they don't want you to know. Stick around, because this conversation could change everything.
What would a Vietnam vet be like without a sergeant, without any backup, without any other soldiers? Nobody but a Vietnam vet in Vietnam. When he came home, how would he be? And that's me. I had to go through all that street war, everything, the same drugs that everybody else get turned out on. You know, where I would have been stopped short, I made it past. And here's where I am. But because I made it past, I missed some lessons. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the lessons that I missed when you talk to me. You can see where I haven't had a father when you talk to me. You know what I'm saying? You can see where I spent a lot of my time in the streets when you talk to me. Because the words that I say are not words that come from a mother's mouth or a father's mouth. It's words that comes from a pimp's mouth or a prostitute or a hustler or a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? But to me, these were my role models.
How much of that, though, in terms of growing up without a father, sometimes not being with your mother, do you lament on and look back and say, damn, I missed something big?
I know for a fact that had I had a father, had I had somebody, and I hate saying this because white people love hearing black people talk about this, but had I had a father, had I had some of these opportunities, I'd have been able to help my mother more. She wouldn't have went the road she went. I could have been a better son. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't have went that road. It was the absence of my father. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with him being daddy not being there. My mother's dealing with him being my man not being there. You know, so many problems in our community that affect everything. So by me not having that, I ain't never want to hear nothing about no kind of relationship between a black man and a black woman. I knew they didn't work.
Because Tupac was more than an artist. He was a mirror reflecting the trauma of millions of black men who grew up without a dad. I can personally say that not having a father in my life has caused me to lack many lessons becoming a man. This tragedy didn't happen by accident. Decades of systemic policies, mass incarceration, the war on drugs, and economic sabotage have dismantled black family structures. When you remove fathers, you destabilize families. When you destabilize families, you weaken entire communities.
All that shit is fatherlessness. You don't know what it feel like to be in the presence of a man that has some authority. How you gonna feel comfortable with this shit out in the world? This is why we end up struggling as young ladies trying to process and like feel comfortable around y'all. I feel like a nigga trying to control you. Feel like you're trying to tell me what to do. Feel like you're trying to use your money to do. It's a lot of shit we misperceive or we take it the wrong way because we don't know what it feel like to have a daddy that say, this is the decision as a man and ain't no woman coming to put her 2 cents on it, right? Then you only seeing how a woman solves and processes and run the household. This your programming. Now flip the same shit to a young boy. You 16, 17, fully grown in your build, but you only ever saw a woman run shit. You only ever saw your mama, decide how stuff gonna go in the household. And we nurturers. So a lot of times women don't even realize all that fussing, the way you handling your son, you fucking him up.
Love Dorsey kept it real. Without black fathers, our sons lose direction, and our daughters are left searching for validation in all the wrong places. This has nothing to do with discipline or finances. Black fathers provide identity, protection, and purpose. They teach our sons what it means to be men and show our daughters the true face of love. Introducing these limited edition Dope Black Dad t-shirts made for kings who rise every day and stand tall for their families. Get it customized with your amazing child's name on them. Click the link in the description to get yours now and wear your truth. Stay dope.
I had a heroic mom and wonderful grandparents who helped raise me and my sister. And it's because of them that I'm able to stand here today. But despite all their extraordinary love and attention, that doesn't mean that I didn't feel my father's absence. That's something that leaves a hole in a child's heart that a government can't fill. If we want our children to succeed in life, we need fathers to step up. We need fathers to understand that their work doesn't end with conception. What truly makes a man a father is the ability to raise a child and invest in that child. For the young people who are here today, I just hope that the message that we're sending out about how important fathers are is something that you will internalize, because all of you are probably going to end up being fathers. And the time is now to start thinking about what that means in terms of responsibilities, what it means to be a man, what it means to be a man.
Obama reminded us that true fatherhood isn't about mere presence. It's emotional, spiritual, and mental. Present, dedicated black fathers break generational curses and build confident, disciplined children. And despite what you hear, CDC data confirms that when black fathers are present, they're amongst the most involved of all.
See, the thing about black fatherhood women as well as men, African American, we think we got to be perfect, and we don't come from perfect. So how can we ever be perfect? We just got to be present.
Right.
I just need you back in the day. You know, y'all are a little young, but when they call roll when I was in class, we said here, we raised our hand.
Right.
We don't do that no more. We ain't now. We just need you to be present. You don't have to be perfect. Just be present. When I coach youth league in Texas, we had 1,500 kids come out for a darn trial.
Right.
I mean, we had one of the biggest youth organizations in the country. And I used to call the fathers, get the numbers from the mothers, and call the fathers with the broken relationships, the broken marriages, and say, look, dog, I don't even need you to come to practice. Just come to the game, dog. I just need you to sit over there and just tilt your head. When your shorty look at you, just tilt your head. That's affirmation. That's like, he did that. He just want affirmation from his dad. I just want you just to be present, man. So that's what we need to do as black fathers. And we get such a bad rap.
Coach Prime lives his message. He reminds us if we want to raise kings and queens, black fathers must be there. When black fathers step up, outcomes change, crime rates drop, graduation rates go up, and mental health improves across the black community.
And, you know, incarceration rates in America has been a problem, especially as opposed to minorities. And Roman delves into the issues around the legal system. Do you think we've made any headway in the
I
legal
think it's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, yeah, they're little yummies. I said, who? He said, little yummies. Look up, Google Little Yummy. Little Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer.
Wow.
And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Who's doing life now, and a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system? Where was his father? It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
You know, like I did talk about my 3 closest friends, and they did, 15 to 25. One did 28, this and that. I was the only one of the 3 that had a father in my life, even though my parents were together. But I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good example, and they didn't.
Here's the truth they won't tell you. The black community doesn't need more saviors. We need more fathers. Fathers who protect, fathers who provide, fathers who lead with love. The system was designed to break us, but we have the power to rebuild, one father at a time. If you believe black fathers are the key to rebuilding our communities, drop a comment below. What's one thing we can do today to support black men in their role as fathers? And if you believe in black empowerment through truth, hit that like button, subscribe to Black Elevators, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. We don't just tell stories, we build legacies.